What if we have multiple? More than one polynomial, more than two polynomials. Well, first of all, let's just review what do we do when we multiply more than two numbers. So for numbers, suppose I ask you to do 2 times 3 times 5. What's one way to do that? Yeah, let's just take it a step at a time. So I think I've mentioned before, one way to do that is first multiply the 2 and the 3 to get what? So this is 2 times 3 gives me 6. Now this 2 times 3 is still got to be multiplied by 5, so that 6 is going to be multiplied by 5. And now 6 times 5 is 30. So the trick was multiply the first two, and then multiply, once you're done with that, then multiply the last two. That's kind of what we should do for multiplying more than two polynomials. Here's an example. 5cd times 6 plus 6d plus c. Let me just rewrite it. 5cd times 6d plus c times 3c minus 8d. So we always have to be thinking about what is a factor and what's a term, what's being added, what's being multiplied. Okay? So using the same using the number example above. So what did I do first? So the first thing I did is I just did the first multiplication. 2 times 3 was 6, right? So now let's just simplify this multiplication first. Multiply everything, distribute this monomial here. So 5 times 6 is 30 c d squared plus 5c squared times d. So if I distribute to both of these guys, I'll get that. Now that is now a binomial. And so these two things multiplied to be this. But this has to be multiplied by this guy. So I need to remember to bring this down. 3c minus 8d. Now I've got another polynomial multiplication problem. Multiply the binomials. Distribute everything. You can use FOIL if you like, but remember that's really just using the extended distributive property. This is 90 c squared d squared minus 8 times 30 is, what is that, 240 cd cubed plus 15 c cubed d, these two, and then finally minus 40 c squared d squared. Combine like terms, 50 c squared d squared, that's from these two. These are not like terms, so they're just going to stay the same. 240 cd cubed plus 15 c cubed d. Yeah, doesn't matter. Remember, because 2 plus 3 is the same thing as 3 plus 2, right? So we have a property of addition. You know what that? Remember what it's called? Commutative, right? It doesn't matter if I wrote this term first or this term next. In fact, a lot of times we're going to want to be able to rearrange these another way. So, great question.